McMinn with Stitch It International. Thank you for the purchase of your new SWF MAS 12 embroidery machine. I will be walking you through your MAS 12 tutorials starting with the stand. Whenever you receive your machine, it will come in two boxes, the first being the machine, the second being the stand. Whenever you open the box to the stand, you will see 5 components: the bottom bracket, the back bracket, both legs, and the table. To put this stand together, you will stand both legs upright, attach the bottom bracket, attach the back bracket, and then attach your table with 4 mounting screws. Once this process is done, you'll be able to put your embroidery machine on your stand. Now that you have assembled your stand, the next step in setting your machine up is to put it on the table. To do this, you will use these 4 rubber feet on the 4 corners of the machine. You'll make sure they are securely tightened to the bottom. Put it in the alignment holes on the table. From there, we will go to the thread rack. You will have to assemble this out of the crate, and then you will attach it to your embroidery machine. From there, we have the thread tubes which come on your head already. The next step is to place them onto the thread rack at the top. That will allow the thread to flow through the tube correctly. The next step is securing your control panel using these 2 screws, and it will connect it to the arm. Then you have to connect the keypad, the control panel, and the emergency stop switch. Once you have completed this process, you're now ready to roll your machine where you would like it and level it up using the leveling feet. In this video, we're going to show you how to thread your machine and thread the bobbin and place it into the machine. The first step in threading your embroidery machine is to set your cone of thread on the designated slot. From there, we will take the thread up to the thread rack and through the thread tube. The easiest way to thread this tube is to detach each connection at the top of the head and the top of the thread rack. From there, you can thread a needle and drop it through the tube. Once you get your thread through the tube, the first step is to go to the left of the knob and go in between the 2 tension discs. You will hear a small click, and that is just the thread falling into place. Next, we will do 2 turns around the little white wheel, come down to the clip, and then we'll do a turn and a half around the big wheel. So there's the first turn, and then on the second turn, you loop it through the spring, and it should bob up and down. Next, we'll go to the clip, and now you're ready to move to the lower part of the head. The first step is to take it through the top eyelet, down to the bottom right eyelet, around the silver bar, and up through the front eyelet. Then you will take it to the right of your take-up lever and go through that eyelet, and then to the back left eyelet. Once you have completed this process, you are now ready to thread your needle. To thread your needle, you will grab your thread and go through the eye of the needle. From there, you will grab it in the back and loop it around the U-shaped slot below your needle clamp. Then you will go down through the presser foot and up to the spring, and now your machine is threaded. The 3 main components to a bobbin case are the slot, the clip, and the pigtail. From there, we will grab our bobbin, place it into our bobbin case. We will want to make sure that the bobbin is spinning clockwise. From there, we will place it into the slot on the side, go underneath the clip, and around the pigtail. Now we are ready to place it into the machine. Now that you have threaded your bobbin case with the bobbin, you are now ready to place it into the machine. To do this, we will pull down on the little door here, and then we will make sure that our pigtail on the top of our bobbin is facing up. From there, we will set it in, and you want to hear the click. This means that it is fully seated, and then you put the door up, and you are now ready to run your designs. In this video, we're going to walk you guys through how to change a needle in case one ever becomes dull or you break one in normal running operation. Before we walk you through replacing a needle in your embroidery machine, we need to explain the different aspects of an embroidery needle. The first one that you have on the needle is the groove on the very front of the needle that runs the distance of the needle. The next spot is on the very back. This is the flat spot located just above the eye of the needle. That is the back of the needle, and that is how you differentiate the front from the back. The first step in changing your embroidery needle if it becomes dull or broken is to grab a standard slotted screwdriver and put it into the needle clamp. From there, we will take it 1.5 turns, and now your needle is ready to come out the bottom. Pull your needle out and grab your replacement needle. We will put the needle back in, making sure that the needle hole and the needle point is down. Make sure that the needle goes all the way back up in, and then align the front groove into the machine, making sure that the groove is pointed towards you. Next, we'll apply a little bit of pressure sideways to keep the needle where it's sitting and tighten it back up. Now that you've replaced your needle, you are ready to rethread your needle and continue operation. In this video, we are going to show you guys how to hoop a shirt or a jacket. The first step is to grab your 15-centimeter hoop, unzip the jacket, stack your backing on top of the inner ring. Place it inside the jacket, making sure that your backing stays lined up with your hoop. Zip the jacket back up. Make sure whenever you put your hoop on here that you can read the words SWF and the size, and this one being a 15. Simply find the ring inside the jacket and the placement and make sure your rotation is not off. Simply push down and your jacket is hooped. The first step to powering your machine on is plugging in this cable right here as the power cord, and then you flip your machine on with this switch in the upward position. Your machine will now boot, and then we will walk to the settings screen. Now that your machine is fully booted, we will walk you through the settings to change to properly run your machine. To do this, we will go to Settings, go to your Jump Settings, and then number 3, you will see Jump Change Data. Select that. It is on 8. That is factory default. We suggest that you change it to 12.7 using the touchpad. Hit OK. And that is the only setting that you have to change on your machine to run it properly. The first step in loading a design into your machine is inserting a USB drive into the back of the panel in one of the 2 ports. Next, you will go to the design folder, select your USB option, and then you will see all of your designs displayed on the screen with a picture. Select one, and you use this little button down here with the plus sign to copy it in. It'll ask you to save, and then you go to close. It's going to ask you to save again. Now you see our design that we just selected off the USB is now displayed on the home screen. Next, we'll move into the information screen on the right side of your panel. At the very top, you have the date and the time, the total jobs done by your machine, the total stitch count, and the total stitch count for your design that is displayed. Next is the name of that design. Then you have this little flower here that shows you the width of your design and how tall it is up and down. That is in millimeters. Then you have your color sequence. So there's 4 colors in this design. Then you have your X and your Y values, which is at 100% default. The next thing down is going to be our color change sequence. Since we have not previously loaded any colors, it is displaying all ones. Whenever you load your color sequence, it will display the numbers that you have selected in your settings screen. Down here, the last option is going to be your speed, and you can change this by the up and down arrows in 10-degree increments. In the previous video, I showed you how to load a design from a USB. Now we're going to load one from a memory. Go to Design folder, and then we're already on the memory, so you just select the design you want. Hit here in the upper left-hand corner, and it will load your design for you. It'll ask you if you want to load the previous settings. You press yes. Now our design is displayed on the screen. The next step in running this design is selecting your colors. You have 4 color changes in this design listed on the left side of the screen. And now what we will do is select the colors you want and the coordinating numbers on your machine. So in this case, we'll just do 1, 2, 3, then 4. At the end of this, that is your color sequence, so you hit close. Now you're ready to trace your design. In this video, we are going to walk you through the different options to move your frame. The first option when using your frame function is to simply use the touchscreen with your stylus and select the frame option. Whenever this appears, you will see the different arrows in which you can move your frame. In the middle of that, you have a speed control for your movements. This is on low. If you select it, it moves to medium and then high. We recommend that you leave it on medium for your adjustments of the frame. If you would like to move it, you can go down, up, right, or left. The next option would be to simply use the keypad on the right side of the panel and use the buttons to move your frame. And moving your frame with the frame option is as simple as that. In this video, we're going to walk you through using the trace and outline function of your machine to make sure that your design fits inside your hoop. The first step is to color change to needle 1. From there, we will go to our frame function and we'll center our hoop up. Once you have done this, you can now go into the frame option. Outline simply draws the exact pattern of your design. To do this, we'll hit play, then we'll hit OK. The next option is trace, and it simply draws a box around your design. To do this, hit play, and then hit OK. And it's as easy as that to use your trace or outline option on your machine. In this video, we are going to walk you through clearing a design and using the trim function. The first step in trimming and clearing a design is to simply select the scissors and then hit the far left scissor option. Now that our machine has completed its trim, to cancel the design, you simply hit the design folder, and then it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to cancel the operation? Simply press yes. Now you're ready to load another design or start on the same design that you just had. In this video, we are going to walk you through deleting a design in case you ever exceed the memory capacity of the machine, or if you would just like to get rid of a design out of the panel. All you have to do is go to the design file, select the design that you would like to delete, hit the trash can, and select yes. And it's as simple as that. In this video, we're going to show you guys how to run a design from start to finish. The first step is to grab the hoop that you previously hooped your garment on. We'll put it on the machine. From there, we will select the design that we would like to run. The next step is selecting our colors. In this design, we would like to run 12, then 9, 12, and 9. And that is our color sequence for this design. From there, we will go ahead and color change to needle 1. And we will line our hoop up center with the machine. Once you have found center, you will then go to the frame button and then select trace and go ahead and trace your design. Once we have made sure that the design is fit inside the hoop, we are now ready to start the machine. Now your design is complete. You now take the hoop off of the machine, and it's as simple as that. In this video, we are going to walk you through using your float feature. In this, you would use it for backing up a design in case you'd ever like to mend one after you've finished it, or you can float forward and run a particular stitch in that design. The first step in using your float feature is to select the float button at the bottom of the control panel. Whenever this screen appears, you have 3 different options to float with. The first being floating by color. We can go forward 2 colors in the design. or we can type in a custom stitch that we'd like to go to. We'll go to stitch 150. The next option is to use the increments located on the right side, 1 through 100,000. In this case, we'll skip forward 1,000 stitches. If you'd like to go in reverse, simply hit the plus symbol, and it'll turn to minus, and you can use the increments as well to go back. And it's as easy as that. In this video, we're going to walk you through using the photo stitch option in your control panel. The first step in using your photo stitch option is to insert your USB into the back of the panel that is containing your image. From there, we'll select the design folder, then we'll hit the SES button. Next, we will hit the landscape button in the lower left-hand corner, and we will select the image, and then hit the check mark. Next, we will hit the arrow, and now your machine is converting the image to a stitch format. Once it loads across, simply hit the blue X, and then select your design and hit the display button. Hit yes, and that is how easy it is to use the photo stitch option. In this video, we're going to walk you through using the freehand stitch option in your machine. The first step in using your freehand stitch option is to grab the stylus located on the back of the panel. From there, we'll select the design folder, then we'll select the SES button. Next, we will hit the plus sign to enlarge the screen to make it easier to draw your design. Then we'll select the paintbrush, and we're going to be doing an autograph in this design. Keep in mind that every time that your pen leaves the screen, you need to reselect the paintbrush for your next color. Once you have completed your design, simply hit the arrow in the lower right-hand corner and then hit the blue X. From there, we'll select the design out of the memory and hit the display button. Then we'll hit yes, and it's as easy as that. A common feature used in embroidery today is the stop function. This is used in applique and 3D puff work. To access this and to use it, you'll go into your needle settings, and you will just have to select what color change you would like the stop function to be at. So if you would like to run needles 1 and 2 and have it stop before it gets to the third color, you will select 3, hit the stop code button, and it's as simple as that. You have programmed to stop. In this video, we are going to walk you through using your SWF Quick Change Cap Driver. Keep in mind that this is not purchased with the machine and has to be purchased additionally. The first step is to grab your hoop and simply pull it off the machine. Next, we will grab our Quick Change Cap Driver and we will slide the frame back. From there, we will align the cap driver with the needle plate, simply slide it on and lock it in just like a hoop. Next, we will grab our cap gauge and we will mount it onto our machine table. Keep in mind that you can mount this to any table within the appropriate thickness. In this case, we're going to use the machine table. Simply screw the screw at the bottom to tighten it up. From there, we're ready to hoop a hat. Before we show you how to properly hoop a hat, we'll first grab our cap frame and explain the different components. The first component are the hat clips, which we'll go ahead and take off as we'll use them later. The next component is the band, which secures on the right side of the cap frame. Then we have the aluminum block with the red alignment line. Next, we will put the cap frame on and we will lock it in. Grab your band and go ahead and release it. Then we will grab our hat and our backing and simply turn the sweatband up and place your backing inside, making sure that your backing is level with the sweatband. From there, we will place it onto the cap frame. Next, we'll grab our band and pull it around. Make sure that this band goes all the way across in the seam of the hat as that locks it in. Now we will align it with our red alignment line on the aluminum block. Simply secure the hat and clamp it in. Next, we will grab our hat clips and we will secure the hat using these on the left side and on the right side. Now that we have hooped our hat, we are now ready to release the clamps and pull the hat off the cap gauge. From there, we'll take it to the machine, rotate it to the side to make sure that it clears the needles. Next, we will rotate it back and you'll feel it fall into place. Simply squeeze it in and lock it down using the red clamps. From there, we will color change to needle 1 and we will line up the center seam on the hat with needle 1. Simply pull your needle down and line it up. From there, we will now go into our design and go to settings, go to the fourth option down, which is angle, and type it into 180. This will rotate our design 180 degrees. That way it runs the right side up on the hat. Next, we'll go to frame, go to trace, and we will hit the play button and hit OK. Now that we have checked the placement of our design, we are now ready to press start. Now that your design has finished running on your hat, you will now release the hat with the red clips and simply pull out. Rotate it to the side and take your hat off. Next, you will undo the little clips, undo the bracket, and now you are done with your hat. It's as simple as that. In this video, we are going to walk you through the common error codes that you may experience during normal running operation. The first error code is an error code 300, which simply means that your needle is not lined up with the needle plate. If you ever receive this, simply press the fix button and it will auto-correct. If you receive this error code and the fix button will not auto-correct it, simply grab the knob and slowly spin it till the beeping stops. The next error code that you may receive is an error code 100, meaning that the main shaft is not at the fix position. Simply hit the fix button. The beeping will stop and it will auto-correct. Same thing with this one. If the fix button at the lower right hand corner of the panel does not fix it, simply rotate the main shaft to 100 degrees on the dial in the back. Once you have got there, the error code will stop. And it's as simple as that to fix your error codes. In this video, we are going to walk you through the proper maintenance with cleaning and oiling your machine to keep it running at top shape. The first and most important step is to make sure that your machine is powered off for safety reasons. Now we are going to take the needle plate off and clean underneath the needle plate. We recommend that this is done every 8 hours of embroidery. Simply loosen the 2 screws on the right side and the left side. Once you have taken the screws out, you are now ready to remove your needle plate, and we will just simply set that aside. Now that your needle plate is off your machine, you are now ready to grab your compressed air, and we will simply blow out from underneath the needle plate. Once you have done this, you will then visually inspect your machine to see if there is any other loose dust or debris. Simply blow it off, and now you are ready to reassemble your needle plate. Simply grab the needle plate, set it back on your machine, and reinsert your screws and tighten them up. Grab your oil, and now we'll move to the first oiling point. To access this, we'll pull the door down, and we'll pull the bobbin out. Set it aside, and you will see that there is a little track located on the inside of the rotary hook. Simply put a couple of drops of oil on there, and put your bobbin back in. Close the door and you are done. We suggest that you oil this point on the machine every time that you replace the bobbin. From there, the second and last oiling point is located at the top of the head. From here, we will put 2 drops of oil in the machine. We recommend that this spot behind the head is oiled for every 16 hours of normal operation. Once you have completed this oiling, you are now done with your maintenance.
Purchase your new machine today by visiting SewingMachinesPlus.com or stop by one of our retail locations.